I'm going to hit the record button and we're already live. You're muted. I didn't do it though. You're muted.
Good morning.
There you go.
So how's everybody doing?
Really good.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Great, Fred.
Good. Good morning.
I'm just closing some windows.
Wonderful.
Doing great.
Wow, doing well.
Fantastic. All right, I'm just closing some windows out and I'm saving something PDF to share. You got that. And Tiff, I'm going to send you that PDF. So when it's time, we'll post it. Okay.
Yes.
Hold 1 second. Good old Microsoft Outlook has its mind of its own. I'm going to give you this PDF here. Well, listen, I'm glad that you all are here because this topic that I'm talking about today is just, it's so powerful. You know, your future self. Again, where's my Outlook? Is not popping up. Okay, I'll let it pop up when it's ready so we can get started. So right now we have 35 on. We have them joining here slow but sure, but they'll come on and I'll get the PDF to you guys. How many were on last week? Let me see. How many were here last week? I see a lot of you. Okay. All right. Well, today is kind of the follow-up to that. And as soon as this Microsoft Outlook gets out of my way, Tiff, I'm going to get you the PDF. I'm going to just, I'll get it to you. I promise. All right. Okay. So let me do this. Let me share my screen and we're going to get rocking and rolling. Okay. Your future self. And I like it in this because I move around, as you know. So let's get this kicked off. Your future self. Now you saw the image that we posted when we were talking about, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but, and I'm going to talk about this because we're really confused when it comes to personal development. So again, one more time, here we go. We today are talking about your future self, and we got to learn to do something today, every moment, that your future self will thank you for. But when you look at this, I posted this image. When you have one foot in the past and the other in the future, you're pissing all over the present. So you're saying, wait a minute, Fred, it's confusing. And that makes a lot of sense, right? If I got 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, I'm pissing all over the present. So what is this business about your future self? Well, that doesn't mean that you take your present moment and live in the future, but this future self is all about vision, a vision about your future self. And it's going to make sense when we get through this today. So every moment that we should be thinking about, what am I doing at this moment? Is it goal achieving or tension relieving? Because if it's tension relieving, then you're just stuck, right? But if it's goal achieving, then you're thinking about your future self. But you still stay in the present moment, the power of the present moment. And your present moments become much more powerful when you have the power of planning and when you have a plan for that future self. So let's get right into this. Your future self is more important than your present self, not the present moment, but the present self. Because we believe we're stuck with ourselves. Sometimes when we look at ourselves right now and we get on the scale, or we look in the mirror, or we see the bank account down, or we, get those feelings and that not good enough thoughts that run through our head, that's where you got to think about your future self. But if you don't have one and you don't have it planned, POP, don't know if you saw my little Facebook thing. I said, my grandchildren call me Pop, and I love that. POP, the first pop is the power of the present moment. The second pop is power of planning. So when we talk about future self, it's all about having that image, having a plan for the future self. And it's very powerful. And what is that all about? It's all about personal development. Now, every time I get with someone that I'm coaching on personal development, I understand more and more and more that we don't even know what it is. What is personal development? So do me a favor. Let me see where I can see the chat box, because I don't see it when I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to just take this off for a second. In the chat box, I want you to tell me what personal development is. What is personal development to you? What is personal development? Because I'll get on and I'm coaching with people, and all of a sudden they go, wait a minute, Fred, I don't want you to think, oh, what? No, Fred, I didn't mean that. And but we don't understand personal development. Growth, okay, that's a good one. Suzanne, thank you. What else? Making oneself better today than yesterday. Okay, becoming a better you. Okay, let's keep going. Becoming, always recognizing areas I can make better for, okay. Personal stretching, yeah, for sure. Working on myself every day. Okay, cool.
I'm driving, so is it if I just chime in?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
So setting goals and making an action plan towards getting them and accomplishing them.
Okay. Embracing the natural gifts. Okay. Replacing that was good. Setting goals. Yeah. Conscious efforts to make changes, improve your mental and physical health. Okay. Making the effort to improve myself. Effort. Okay. Creating a better future. Empowerment. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try and let me add this. Okay. From now on, I want a 4-letter word. What is reaching your full potential? I'm going to break it down for you today. And I'm so glad you're on, because I'm going to break it down. It's a 4-letter word. So now let's just, you can only answer with a 4-letter word. What is personal development? Self. Okay. What else? A 4-letter word only. 4-letter word, self. Thank you, Lizette. You answered quickly. Anyone else? A 4-letter word. What is personal development? Mind. Okay. Come on now. Lizette's doing all the work. Someone else. Soul. Okay. Fantastic. Soul. Love. Who said love? Wait a minute. Victoria. Yes. That's what personal development is all about. It's about love. It's about love for self. It's about understanding yourself. Yay, Victoria. You get the prize. All right. Where are you, Victoria? What area are you in?
I am in Pompano Beach.
Pompano Beach. Okay, you visit me in my office. I have 2 free gifts for you, okay?
Ooh, I'm actually coming in this morning.
Well, actually, I'm not there, so but I'll be there after 11.
Awesome.
Gary said self-love. That's not 4 letters, Gary. That doesn't count. But it is self-love. You're right, Gary. Gary already got the present, I think, one point. But so it is self-love, right? And this is what we miss. And when you see people in a personal development summit, you see them in Tony Robbins, you see them wherever. And like I was doing actually 3 coaching calls yesterday. We got real intense. And people go, well, wait a minute, I don't want you. No. And it's just like, and I said, wait a minute, it's all about love. And let me go back to share my screen, because this is powerful, guys. And when you can get this, there's the word effort goes away, because it becomes the path of least resistance for you. It becomes where it becomes more natural when you start realizing what true personal development is, and what and how it's all about love. Okay, love for self-love, and going back. And again, the PDF, I keep adding to these because I want people to have this personal development library. But it goes back to the 12 principles of attitudinal healing. The essence of our being is love. The essence of our being, and love is always creating, not destroying. But yet our thoughts are more destructive than they are loving, right? So the essence of our being is love. So that self-love is so important. And personal development is all about, am I loving myself enough? Am I developing that love for self? Because as that goes on, health is inner peace. Healing is letting go of fear. Ulcers don't come from what we're eating. It comes from what's eating us. And if we have real health, it's inner peace. 3, giving and receiving are the same. I was giving yesterday, but these folks weren't receiving because I was giving from love, but they were operating more from fear. Oh, is Fred going to think I'm not good enough? Or is Fred thinking that I'm not doing the work? But that, because we don't understand real pure love and truth when it comes at us sometimes. Giving and receiving are the same. We let go of the past and of the future. Now, when we say, wait a minute, Fred, you're talking about your future self. Again, that's the vision. That's where you know you're not stuck with the present, right? I mean, you're not stuck with yourself, and get out of the past. But love comes back down to, that's the 4-letter word, is that's the power. Love is the only, now is the only time there is, and each instant is forgiving. And the more you do that, the better your future self is. We can learn to love ourselves and others by forgiving other than judging. We can become love finders rather than fault finders. And when I would bring stuff up in these coaching, and all the time when I bring stuff up and it's like, oh, they're finding fault with me. No, it's I'm trying to get to a point where I'm getting to self-love, right? Like we were talking to someone yesterday about health and about weight. And they said, yeah, but my weight loss goal is, I said, no, you can't do that. The ego doesn't like to lose anything. Stop talking about weight loss and let's talk about health gain. Let's talk about, because weight loss is, there's something wrong with me. I got to lose this stuff. And no, you got to gain health. So, because that's where the love is in health. Weight is just an ugly word. So forget about that, right? So we can choose and direct ourselves to be peaceful inside, regardless of what is happening on the outside. We're students and teachers to each other. A lot of times when you get with someone like myself, a coach, and they're starting to try to work with your work, you think, uh-oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they're the master. And, somebody gave me the name Godfather. I'll accept it. But, I'm a student. I'm a student. When I'm listening to you, when I'm coaching, I'm going, wow, yeah, and then I give you my experience, but right away you think I'm teaching and I'm not. I had someone yesterday stop me 3 times and he says, wait, Fred, I know what you think. I know what you think. One of them, we were talking about, they kept using the words, I can't stand working in my house. I got to get out and find an office. And I said, well, why don't I said, your bed made, I can't believe you're asking me that. This is the only day I've never made my bed. And it wasn't finding fault at all. It was that I'm trying to learn and help them, right? So we're students and teachers each other. We can focus on the whole of life rather than the fragments. Since love is eternal, death need not be viewed as fearful. 12, we can always perceive others as either loving or fearful and giving a call of help for love. So personal development is all about love. And your future self is all about this love relationship with this future self that you can see and that you can feel and that you can touch once you learn to practice it properly. This is a whole science, this idea of future self. And again, I don't want you to get confused. You don't sit there and not enjoy the present moment. I enjoy every present moment. When a bird flies by and I just look in awe, or the flower and the creation and the fact of realizing that there's this infinite integrity and infinite intelligence that surrounds me everywhere, in people and in nature and all this other kind of stuff. So I enjoy the present, but this vision of self is what drives me, my future self. So let's go back here. Your future self is more important than your present. So when you study personal development, when you get your PDF, we have these here. Okay, how come my link's not hot here? Let's see what's going on. This is really, there it is. Okay, so let's look at this. And you'll have this in your PowerPoint when you get it. This is a great, okay, let's go. And when you do a Google search, that's all this is a Google search that I wanted to show you. Connecting this server, there we go. So when you do just a search, personal development, you ready for this? 1,180,000,000 results. What is it? Well, how is it defined? Personal development is a continuous lifelong process of nurturing, shaping, and improving skills and knowledge to ensure maximum effectiveness and ongoing employability. Yuck. It's not. It's about going on the inside and understanding that's where my future self lives, is on the inside. No wonder we're confused. There's 1 billion, 180 million, right? So what is this future? It's the love for self. It's understanding that. And then, but this is all good. And then when you go over to images, you know, you've got all kind of things there, right? What personal development is. A lot of you use the word, it's effort, it's this. No, it should become natural, because when you have a real true future self and you have real true self-love, it's not a lot of times climbing and striving and, you know, and doing all that. It's more about self-love. And it should become more of the path of least resistance. This is another one for the future self. This is okay, good. That one's hot. Let's see if we can get right to that one. Okay, the future self. I want you to really, when you get your PDF, come in here and read some of this, because there's some great things in here. The future me, writing a letter. A lot of times this is all about journaling. And, you know, writing a letter to your future self about a vision of who that, you know, what that looks like. When you come here, this article that is, you'll find that in there. This is the science-backed future self strategy can pave the way to a greater success. I don't know if you've ever heard of Matthew's, the speech that he did, but you got to go in and look that, you know, watch that, because he says in that speech, which is so profound, he says when he was winning the Academy Award for the Best Actor in 2014, he gave a riveting speech about how he succeeds in life. A big part of his success formula has to do with the person he explains as his hero, who happens to be himself 10 years in the future. See, it's hard sometimes to be your hero in the present moment because you got this going on, that going on, that going on. One of the people I was coaching yesterday, they have some things going on with the family member and this and that. And I listened. I said, you're taking ownership. You're taking ownership. And they're pissing all over the present. You know, they're trying to fix this family member's past and to prevent them from being homeless in the future. And they're as soon as we got on, I said, hey, how's things going? And I just listened, I watched him and I said, wow, you know, as we started talking about it, you know, this is where we just ruin our lives. We piss all over the present moment for ourselves, right? But this is very powerful. So when you get your PowerPoint or you get your PDF, let's you know, go in there and read that article. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot to point one thing out here because he brings up some points at the bottom, this doctor. And then there's a great TED Talk. This TED Talk here was powerful. He's a psychologist, a Harvard psychologist, and he explains it, why it's so importantly to understand that. He explains people often remove tattoos, their former selves. Hello, look at this. Well, you can't see it because I'm here on my screen. I have 7 tattoos I've removed. Divorced partners, their former selves married and painstakingly lose weight their former selves carelessly put on. This is a very powerful article here, and he gives you some key points which are very good, defining and becoming your future self. See your future self as a different person from who you are today. Imagine who your future self is. Hold your current identity more loosely. You know, relax. Have the courage to admit what you truly want. Tell people about your future self and what you truly want. One person I was working with yesterday, one of the big things in their life right now is that they don't like themselves. They don't like themselves, and a lot of it has to do with the body. Because, you know, quote, what we call overweight is just under health. And they've got every morning weighing themselves, and their life is defined by their scale. So we made a commitment yesterday, not for 2 weeks, you can't weigh yourself anymore. That's not your identity. I want you to get a picture of what you want to look like and put it up on your mirror and look at that every morning when you're brushing your teeth, not getting on the scale. The scale is not your life. So you can't do that if you want a future self. It's just a number, and that number is it haunts you if you're getting on that scale every day. You know, and our obesity rate in this country is out of control because we keep getting on the scale and we're judging ourselves by a number like that. And you gotta get into this future self, and we're going to get into the toolbox here and how we do all this. And again, it's from reading things like this. It's from studying things like this. It's about personal development. And we're going to get back into the 101 step challenge that we talked about last week. Who will you be in 10 years? I've always had a 10-year goal out there. And then when I lost sight of it is when my present condition so many times took over that it ruins your future self. So this is really powerful, and you're going to get this today. As soon as I get my Outlook to cooperate and send you the PDF. And it's going to be in and well, let me try to do it right now, Tiff, because there's folks that are not in our group who don't have access to the recording. I will try one more time. Let's see here. Let's see if it's going to cooperate now. I want to get this to Tiffany so you have it. For those of you who are on the call that are not a part of the group. Okay. Has a mind of its own. Because I want to get to the toolbox. Okay, let's see if that's going to cooperate here in a minute. So let's go here. Let's talk about the toolbox now. The how. Let's get over here. The toolbox, constructing your future versus living the memory of your past. And folks, that's where most of us want to live. We do. I mean, it's just, you know, we just replay it over and over and over again. And yet the present moment is so precious and so powerful. The power of the present moment. And you only can get there by the power of planning. So let's make a plan. I said last week, YouTube Premium. I'm going to hit stop share for a moment. All right, let's go in the chat box. All of you here last week, how many of you signed up for YouTube Premium? Or if you've done it before, like Daryl mentioned last week, he had done it before when I talked about it. Who's in on YouTube Premium? Just say, I did it. I did it. I'm waiting. I did it. Jennifer, yay. Who else? Who signed up for YouTube Premium? Me? What's that mean, Lizette? Lizette, what's that mean? Me. Oh, okay.
Hi, sorry, Lizette. I signed up for it.
Lizette, yeah. Fantastic. Oh, cool. Anybody else? Anybody else? I did it. Yay, Pamela. Who else? Come on. I need the encouragement. Remember, we're students and teachers of one another. Come on. I'm looking for love. I'm going to. All right. That count. Done it. Okay. I did it. Daryl, thank you. Kelly, I did it. All right. Perfect. Because that's one to keep going. All right. So let's go back here because that is one of the greatest tools that I know of that exists. Say, folks, we are living in the greatest time of all human history. We're living in the most powerful time of all human history. Some of you may say, man, Fred, what are you talking about? Have you watched the news lately? Folks, stop, turn the news off. Go in and put into Google, are we living the best times of our lives, for our human history? Yes, it's facts, it's statistics. COVID has delivered more good than bad. You're going, Fred, you've lost your mind. I used to pay attention to you a little bit, but I'm going to cut you off. Folks, some of the things that have happened for our future self, our future human race, because of COVID are powerful. Study it, study the facts. The two greatest things that are affecting us in with this COVID thing is fear. No, number one is obesity, and number two is fear. Study the facts. So both of those are overcome by love. But some of the things that are happening, Tony Robbins pointed out last week. He said, I used to be able to max out at 10. A couple times he's been in a stadium where he's had 20,000, but that was about it. Last week he had 800,000 people participate in the 2022 breakthrough. Impossible before COVID. He would have never thought of it. But not only him, but other companies and other things that are coming up in the ingenuity of mankind and what's going on. Yeah, we got to go through hell to get to heaven. individually, we've got to do that. So our toolbox is YouTube Premium. I know that sounds crazy. And the 101,000 step challenge. I had someone on yesterday who was on last week with me, who was doing her follow-up coaching with me. And she, I said, how did you, I said, did you get started 101? Yeah, yeah, I did. So I'm thinking, okay, how did you do? I only did 51,000 or whatever it was, I forget. I said, so-and-so, restate that again for me. She said, I know, I only did 51,000. Folks, I didn't give us this challenge that you jump in the first week and get 101. And I asked, I said, what'd you do the week before? Well, not many. I said, you did, it was like triple or times 4 what she did the week before on her own. I said, you just did 50% better than you were doing in your previous life, and you're growing. You see what we do, we're so conditioned. Remember, as you go through Soulful Wednesdays, that's why I keep adding to these, right? It's about unlearning this programming that we have. This is all about thought reversal. And I just chuckled and we laughed together. And I said, listen, you don't have to, this 101,000 step challenge to get you out of your couch first. I don't care if you do 100 a week, and then as long as it's 200 and then 300 to next week, 101,000 steps. If you're only on for today and you weren't on for last week, we're doing this 101 step challenge. By the way, the YouTube channel's coming and the Facebook page is coming. We're working on it. But 101,000 steps a week is 50 miles. Now you may say, are you out of your mind? Oops, steps. Who spelled that? Steve. It's no, does that spell right? Yeah, steps. This is 50 miles a week. Okay. So you go, and it's 7 days. So that is because you can walk about the average person 20 minutes per mile. That's 1,000 minutes, which equals about 16 hours. You may say, Fred, you want me to exercise for 16 hours? No, because remember, it's about the body mind. Your mind will not operate if your body is obese and it's not moving, it's not feeling good. It's going to affect your mind. But you can't get that body moving without the right mindset either. It's got to work together. It's synchronicity by the body, mind, body. So the reason these two are here together is that while you're walking and you're spending 16 hours, well, that's only if you're average walker. I mean, that's slow, a 20-minute mile. I mean, 20-minute mile. So you can do it a lot faster. But the whole idea was to have your good headphones, noise canceling headphones of some type. I recommend Bose, but you can get in an inexpensive Bose, noise canceling. So it's really powerful headset over the ear, not the earbuds. And really, as you're walking, is that in your YouTube channel, last week I shared all my playlist and my different ones and the music, and a lot of this is on here, that you would listen to it, okay? But this 101 step challenge, I had 18 people join me last week. And by the way, you're going to hear from me once the channel's up and once the Facebook page is launched. And whoever else wasn't on last week, if you want to join this challenge, because I want to get you out there on a treadmill, just walking. Now, a lot of mine is mixed with running and jogging. And but while you're out there, where you're listening, you're taking care of mind and body at the same time. Folks, your life, you won't recognize your life 3 months from today if you do this and you get out there every day. I don't care if you only hit the 50,000, but I want you to get to this because I want you to commit to yourself this 15 hours a week. Because if you conquer the morning and you get it out there and knock out, yesterday I was like 12,000 in the morning and I knocked out another, 8,500, and I get up from my office and I'll go take a walk around. I'll walk around. You'd be surprised how it adds up. I'll walk around my building. And last night I looked, I was 21,000 steps. And I said, wow. When I live on the 5th floor, when I come back, I take the steps when I can. If the door's not locked, but I always take it down and I take it back. So it's easier than you think that you can get 101,000 steps in. But I wanted you to keep it, life by the inch is a cinch. Okay. For instance, I put a 4-minute workout here that by Dr. Zach Bush, and here, let me just quickly I'm going to give you a teaser on this. He developed this 4-minute workout. Even if you just start with something like this, by the way, you should incorporate this every day in your life, because it's very powerful. If it's not going to cooperate, you'll get it when you get it. What's going on with that? Okay. Don, go ahead. You raised your hand, buddy. Speak. Anyone speak up? Yeah, go ahead, Don. Don, you raise your hand?
Oh, sorry about that. That was an error.
Oh, okay. That wasn't an error. It was meant to be. What's on your mind? Okay, it's not cooperative. All right, so you'll get it when you get that. Right.
Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be the 4-minute workout we're taking you through today.
This is so simple. It's a 4-minute workout.
20, no back, which means your arms have to come out.
And I don't care how bad a shape you're in, you could do this. And this is all built around this nitric oxide. When you read this, it's very powerful. I incorporate this every day. When you're doing something in the kitchen, you're waiting for something to cook. When you put something in the microwave, you can knock out 4 minutes. So let's keep this all simple. 101,000 steps. You go, oh my gosh, Fred, it's not as difficult as you think. Okay, so this is your toolbox, and I'm going to get this to you. I promise. I'm going to close this out and see if my PDF will while we're talking. I'm going to go ahead and end this now. Let me hit stop share so I can get this PDF to Tiffany. So let's open it up, and let's go ahead and open it up. And anybody start on their 100,000 step challenge? Let's start with that. Last week when we talked about it.
Yes, I have, Fred.
How'd you do, Aletha?
Well, nowhere near. So
No, stop. Tom. Did you do better than you did the week before?
I absolutely.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I did.
rephrase it for me. Say, Fred, I knocked it out of the park. I did 10 steps more than I did the week before.
Okay. Fred, I knocked it out of the park because I did 5,000 steps more than I did the week before.
Oh, and how many did you do the week before?
0.
Oh, come on, everybody.
Sitting on
Give
my
us some
ass
love.
the week. I was sitting on my ass the week before. How about that?
And listen, 5,000 steps. You did 5,000% better than you did the week before. And you started to say, well, I didn't do much.
Thank you, Fred. You know, you have inspired me, and I typed this in the comments. You've inspired me. I'm going to go ahead and open my camera so you can see that I got my hat on instead of my wig. And the reason I got my hat and my sweatshirt on is because she has been getting out there and doing based on what you've been telling us and the inspiration. I've been getting up to get to the gym by 5:30 in the morning. Today, I decided not to do the gym, but to actually take my doggies for a long walk. And I did that this morning instead. And I feel great. I feel like I can conquer my day. Thank you.
Fantastic. And by the way, guys, remember, personal development is not about motivation, not about inspiration. And as Frank McKinney says, aspiration, yes, but personal development is truly about self-love. What you did was you loved yourself when you got out there and started working. You showed yourself some love. When you get up and go to the gym, that's showing yourself self-love, especially for your future self. So let's, and again, because we didn't program with the word motivation, inspiration. You inspire me, and I love it. That's fine, but it's not powerful enough to keep you going. So I want to just remember, we are students and teachers of each other. And you just given me that, to be very candid with you. You just gave me love back and encouragement. So it's really about encouragement, right? Tiff, I just got that to you. Thank goodness my Outlook cooperated. So that's the key, is that when we can, really focus on the power of love, because love is the only thing that'll conquer fear. Motivation won't conquer fear. Inspiration won't conquer fear. Only love conquers fear. That's the only thing that conquers fear. And you got to be courageous to really embrace love. And courageous is heart. You know, the Latin word is heart. Cur is heart. So thank you very much for that. And who else? Who else?
Fred, I'll jump in. I know you mentioned, I think it was last week or the week before, about self-love and, you know, take some time for yourself. That I never think doing that, because I think I'm doing that all day long. But I tried that this Sunday and it really worked amazing. I just took a few hours out of the day, didn't do nothing. There was nothing planned, nothing on the agenda. I did what I enjoy doing, watching some YouTube or learning something new for myself. And that literally shifted my whole week. Monday was, for some odd reason, I felt much different. Didn't do anything. You know, I think I just blocked that time off. That kind of triggered my brain in a different way and really made me feel like I really did something for myself that I've never done that before. And that really helped. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, deep thank you, man. You know, because, you know, and like one of the calls yesterday, this person was giving to this loved one. And it was, and that's always wonderful and great. But the problem is that when you're giving and you're empty, right? And you haven't taken care of yourself first. And we took that same situation that we're given out of, but they took the responsibility with it, right? So when you're able to give to yourself the way you just described it, that it's powerful. It's really powerful. And then probably the other people you've met throughout the week, you probably gave more love than you did maybe the week before, because you took care of yourself, right? Because you're giving out of abundance, right? So that's fantastic. And what Deep was talking about, if you haven't been on these calls before this first time, is that this time blocking every Sunday, I don't care whether if you're an early morning person and put that 30 minutes in there, if you're a late person and put it at night, mine's at night. I want to get my week started. Mine's at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And that's the last thing I do for Sunday is say, okay, let me evaluate the week. First thing I do, I judge my sleep for that week, previous week. I judge my steps, and I judge my, when I say judge, I look at, I evaluate. And I'll say, you know what? I'm going to do a little bit better job this week on this week. And let me give you an example, Deep. I'm going to tell you a story. It's going to blow your mind, all of you. None of this you ever achieve. It's an hour-to-hour thing. Friday, this last Friday, I've just gone through a really, really big life change, you know, and business and life and all kind of stuff was going on stuff. And Friday, and I'd put in about 70 hours already. And so I was leaving the office about 6:30, and I said, you know, I got to do something. You know, what can I do? And I said, you know what? I haven't been to the Gazebo in years. Gazebo is a very fancy French restaurant where we are. And I said, man, I'm not going to go spend $100+ for a little meal. That's crazy. You know, I'm not going to do that. I said, I'm going to go over to Season. Nah, I think I'm going to go to the Gazebo. Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I drive to the Gazebo. I start to pull. I go, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going to go home. I'm going to get some extra walks in this week. I need to really spend some time with myself. And I'm not going to blow no 100+ bucks on a meal. And my also my sister, it's a Saturday. I'm sorry, Saturday. So my sister also was in intensive care. She got pneumonia and COVID, and that same day they were very close to putting her on the ventilator, which killed my daughter back in 2014. Long story, but you know, and I wasn't tensed at all because I really believe that you know we could affect that. I called her and we had prayers. We touched hand on Zoom and all this other stuff. So, but anyway, I said, no, I'm not only going to do it for me, because I wanted to do it for me, but I'm also going to do and celebrate it with Sharon, my sister, because who was at that point still in critical care, right? So I go into the Gazebo. I call him. I said, hey, you do, because I hadn't been in there so long. I forgot even the setup. I said, you have a bar, right? I can sit and eat at and all. And I forgot they have this bar which you watch all the cooks, right? They said, yeah. And of course, and I said, oh, I'm going to come down and I'm going to eat. I go there and I walk in and the maitre d' says, yes. And I said, I'm just going to have dinner tomorrow. Oh, yes, sir. How are you? Didn't take my name. I have it all set up for you. I go there with the white linens and it's all set up. And I look around, I'm all by myself. So I said, hey, this is great. I'm going to get to enjoy my time. And I posted on Facebook, this is for Sharon, this is for me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm really into it. So I'm sitting there eating, I'm watching them cook and all. And so I looked at the menu. I said, I'll keep it. I said, no. I looked at the appetizer. I said, I want the frog legs. They brought me the frog leg. I'm going to take my time. I want the best red wine. I got the best. So I'm sitting there eating, and they come and say, what would you like? I said, what's the best thing on the menu? Dover sole. I looked, $61. I said, give me the Dover sole. So I'm sitting there to enjoy my wine from Argentina. And so he comes and just, as I'm all finished up, and of course they don't bother you, just really great place, watching all the action cooks. And I'm sitting there watching these people work so hard and serving the other people. It just was a phenomenal moment. I was thinking about sharing my sister and sending her love and sending her, good vibes and stuff. And I said, hey, I'm enjoying this. Here's toast to your good health. And so it was incredible. And so then he says, hey, dessert. And I started saying, I said, yes, let me see the dessert menu. And I said, pecan pie, please, with the dip of vanilla ice cream on the top. So I just finished up my dessert. All of a sudden, someone finally joins me at the bar. 4 people, 2 couples. They didn't get their table. So, hey, he sat down very nice. He says, you enjoying your meal? I said, absolutely, man. I said, wow, guys, let me just tell you how this whole thing ended. He had just sold his company for over $200 million. He had just, he's a snowbird. He was telling me we were talking about where he lived, and we're talking about the real estate business. He says, oh yeah, he says, I said, let me give you my card. And so his friend was with him. His friend has been in Boca for 30 years. We all knew all the same people. We knew all the same real estate people. And this guy's really into luxury. And I'm thinking about this luxury program I'm kicking off. I said, hey, Herb, will you do me a favor? And I handed him my card. I said, would you have lunch with me? I want to consult with you on this luxury program. The guy just sold like a $6 million house, moved to a $3 million condo on the beach. So I walked out of there and I said, God, when will I ever learn? When will I ever learn that it's all about taking care of what you created, taking care of me, and treating me like I'm your creation. I am not a body. I am as God created me. Take care of me. And yet I did it for my sister. I did it for me. And the results were just phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It just, and it's going to be really interesting where that all goes. So Deep, thank you for sharing that. I'm sorry it took so long to share that, but it was a powerful moment and just a reminder. So go ahead. Somebody else, Deep. Thank you for that.
It's Dawood here.
Hey,
how's it going?
Good,
so
man.
I got to tell you, it really is about collapsing an old story that doesn't serve you well. It's definitely paying it forward. And I got to tell you, I work closely with Deep, and Deep showed up as a really nice and happy person this week. And whatever he did over the course of the weekend, please keep doing it, because I love the new guy that you are becoming.
Everyone
It's over. It's over, Fred, Godfather. I'm not doing this anymore.
30 minutes on Sunday, man. I on my counter, it's called my time. Oh no, my life. It's called my life. 30 minutes on Sundays.
Fred, the biggest problem, I should not use that word when it comes to you. The biggest hurdle I have is, and my brain's programmed for so many years, like everybody's number one. I'm not, like you said, right? My cup's always empty, and the last 3-4 years, I've really worked on myself, within myself, to figure some triggers out, and something that I was holding on to since I was 9 years old. Didn't even realize that it was happening. So, it's very difficult. And, everybody on the call, there's like, I think 66 people on the call. It's difficult what we're talking about, and we all know it. Everybody goes through this every day. You got your kids, you got your boyfriend, you got your husband, you got your family. I take care of my dad. Everything comes in your way, and we forget that who's that person providing to those people. And if something really happens bad to me today, who's going to take care of my dad the way I take care of him? Just put yourself in that same mindset. I know Fred's been doing that for almost for a year, talking about this Soulful Wednesdays. I think it's a very uncomfortable place for people to discuss this every week. And I get that. And it's a very kind of a hot area, and nobody wants to talk about and discuss it, especially men. But it's very crucial. This dictates your pretty much your blueprint of your life, if you really look at it that way.
And it does, Deep, and we become so much more valuable to others when we take care of ourselves, folks. Some of you know my personal story, some of you don't, but I just strive my entire life to be very successful, and I became very, very successful for being an 8th grade dropout, and for becoming, got a high school equivalence, got my real estate license at 23, and #1 agent, and they made me a manager, maybe a senior manager, a senior executive. so on and so forth, and built a big real estate portfolio in 5 states, and it all went away, and it didn't go away. I constructed that life. I'm the one that created that life, but it served me still, and it's still serving me. And once we realize, and I used to have on my desk, on my way to the top, I am third, God, others, and myself. And that philosophy, if it's balanced correctly, if you remember in the slide deck that you got, if you go look at the whole heart presentation I did, on the left side, the ego is our prayers are usually, God, please help, or God, what can you do for me today? Whereas on the soul side, it's the God, what may I do for you today? So I'm still, that philosophy is still there, but I'm number one because I am, God was described as the I am also, so are you, because we are a part of that. So if you don't take care of the I am, like you said, and it's really interesting, Deep, the person yesterday, it had to do with their father. And I said, let me ask you a question. If something would, I said the exact same thing. If something would happen to you, what would happen to your father? He said, he'd probably be homeless. I said, oh, really? You think? Or maybe they'd figure it out, right? So, but the more you take care of yourself, I've been more valuable to people the last 4 years, 5 years that I've learned these things and realized and really gone deep and was forced to go deep. I either had to end it. Look at my YouTube channel, The Inside Out Agent. Anastasia, are you on here? Anastasia Pitanova? Listen to Anastasia Pitanova. As you look at her, attractive, looks successful real estate agent, artist. And anyone look at her, say, man, she has her act together. Watch her interview with me for 15 minutes when she was ready to take her life not too many years ago. Anastasia Pitanova. Watch my Inside Out channel on YouTube. I just got started. So guys, this is real stuff, man. And without this, nothing else matters, right? Because you don't have the foundation. So Deep, I'm so glad you share that. And because insanity, as you on the YouTube channel, it says insanity is outside, sanity is inside. And it's so true. So true.
Fred, I wanted to finish with one last thing. Guys, nobody's saying to go do a half an hour, 1 hour session. You can start small, start 15 minutes. I know it's difficult. I know everybody's life is so complicated. Everybody's life is complicated. They got so many, hats they're wearing, different person has different hats to put on. So just start 15 minutes. I think you can pull 15 minutes out. Trust me.
Hey, Deep, Fred, can I jump in real quick?
Absolutely.
I think, something to pair, kind of tie in what I was sharing a couple weeks ago, pairing the, 5 minutes of meditation or silence, 10 minutes, whatever you do, and then pair that in with the methodology I shared about finding your triggers. You'll see a huge shift because your brain is already primed for new information once you hit that meditative state. So it's a great opportunity to dive deep. And as David was saying, to find those stories that were driving you the first 7 years of your life and strategically pick them apart so you can recreate yourself into the person that you want to be in the future, like Fred was talking. So pair those two things together and you're going to get some amazing results.
Yeah, and last week when I shared my YouTube channel, and I was sharing it yesterday with one of my people I was coaching yesterday, and you look at my YouTube channel, the folders I have and the amount, I mean, I listen to monks, I listen to everything. And as I'm walking, because I do 15 hours, 16 hours of unfortunately I live in Florida, I can do outside. If I lived inside, it would be more on a treadmill and other things and walking up and down steps and stuff. So, but my head is programmed anywhere from, at night before I go to bed, because when you study Dr. Bruce Lipton, in that presentation, we all were programmed the first 7 years of our life, and we've only lived that 7 years over and over. If you're one of the people I was talking to yesterday, I think it was, 47, whatever it was. I said, you've only lived your first 7 years 4 times over, 5 times over, 6 times over. And that's what we've done. So the reason YouTube premium channel is so powerful is because it starts, when you start listening to more, they'll start introducing you to the same type of people. And these beautiful, wonderful people I have in my life, like Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and some of the monks and some of the other people that I listen to constantly, to realize that it's all within, right? And it's reprogramming that first 7 years of your life. Every one of you sitting here, no matter what your circumstances are, most of it was been driven by the first 7 years in your life. You know, my great success that was driven by I wasn't good enough from sexual abuse as a kid and abusive things in the family and all this other stuff. I was going to prove I was good enough, right? But without balance, and I was very much into personal development. Personal development, a lot of it is what drove me to that. But I didn't go deep. You know, I just because personal development could drive people, because there's a lot of people that are driven, but they drive right off the cliff, you know, in their life. You know, look at Tony Robbins tells a story all the time about all the billionaires he consults with. He admits publicly that only 10 to 15, 20% of those are happy because they don't go deep, right? And that's what we're talking about here, right? Deep. Somebody else, come on, chime in here.
Hey, Fred, it's Ken.
Hey, Ken.
So, I just wanted to say that I don't know why I'm getting feedback here.
You have two things on. You must have your laptop and phone on.
Let's see. Hold on. I don't know how to shut it off.
There you go. You did it.
Is that better?
No.
No. All right. Let's see what I can do here.
We want to hear from Ken.
How about now?
Good. Ken comes from, you're involved in Kabbalah, correct, Ken?
Yeah, among other things for the last 40 years. Yeah. So what I just want to, you know, I get such value, you know, on Wednesday, you know, from your Zoom meeting class. It's just, you know, I just find it amazing. I just feel like I feel fed. So just as an example, there's a famous rabbi from approximately 100 years ago. I believe he's out of Iraq. His name is Ben Ish Chai. And he was an amazing orator. And so in synagogue, the congregation, men, women, and children from around the country, from every single synagogue he spoke in, every seat was taken. And surrounding the building, just with his messages, they would listen through the doors and the windows. And they were mesmerized by the message that they were so fed, it lasted literally the entire week. And so this is the type of class that if you really listen carefully and take notes and apply the wisdom and the knowledge, that it literally transforms your life. Because you're going out and bringing us all this great stuff. And so I just find it amazing. I just get so much value out of it.
Great, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. And what you said something that he was feeding the soul, right? And that's the thing, guys, if you remember, and you have it on the PDF, you know, that big presentation on heart and soul. And, you know, we're souls, man. We're definitely spiritual beings, and we had to go through this human experience. I was saying to someone yesterday when we were talking about weight in the scale, I said, let me ask you a question. How much did your weight play in this 75 years ago? And they looked, they said, no, nothing. I mean, and I said, let me ask you a question. How much will that weight number that we're discussing right now have to do with anything 75 years from now? Of course, every time I use that, people look at me and they go, well, not really, right? Because I said, you know, you're not a body. You're a soul. You're not a body.
Yeah.
You're created it. But we do have this body we have to take care of while we're here, right? So I just wanted to get things in perspective because they were haunted by the scale every morning. So what you're saying, the feeding, and the reason Tony Robbins, you know, is a multi-billionaire is not because he's slick and not because but because he feeds people, right? And now he's feeding people even literally. The reason I love Tony is because of his, you know, he feeds billions of people every year and all that stuff, literally. People starve. So, because he feeds people's souls. And that's what, and it's not rah-rah, it's not motivation, it's not inspiration. And when you attend his events, especially the one last week with 800,000 people, and you see all the comments, oh, thank you, this is so motivating, this is so empowering, this is so, but they'll leave and it'll wash off if they don't apply it and keep going and let it awaken that giant. That's his trademark, awaken the giant within. And all
100%.
Yeah, you know, every religious leader, I mean, you know, I don't care what religion, they all say the same thing. It's all within us, it's all within us. And, so awaken the giant within, and that's what happens. So that feeling that we get when we talk real like this is that giant within is starting to wake up going, wait a minute, maybe it's possible. Because guys, we are all creators. Either you're creating a mess with your life, either you're creating something good. We're all creators. And we create this world that we see. The world that you see is not the world that's real. It's the world that you created. You never see things the way they are. You only see things the way you are. And so we're creators. And when we're not creating, the reason we have weight issues is because we're not creating good health. That's all. And so therefore we give into the tension relieving instead of the goal achieving. I've been there. I'm 5'6". I never hit 200. Fortunately, I hit 199.5. But I lived that way for a number of years, and finally I said, wait a minute, I gotta get control here, because it's a big difference. But and again, that's not about body shaming at all. I mean, I know some people that I better not say this publicly, but my niece is doing a great job on Angel. But even when Angel was very, very, man, she was in roller derby. You should see that girl roller derby, and she's agile. And so I'm not body shaming when I talk about weight or body, but if it's an issue to you, then you've got to do something about it, because you've got to create health. You've got to create a life. And the best way I know is by putting it in here and reprogramming this with a YouTube premium channel, headphones, getting out there. And you may say, Fred, I can't walk. I got bad knees. Well, then you could do that 4-minute exercise I just put on there. If you can't walk, you can pedal with your arms, count that, you can get on a rowing machine, whatever it may be, but please take control of your body so it helps you take control of your mind. And in order to get there, if you need help with that, my schedules were somewhat limited, but if you're in dire need, please get with me and I'll spend 30 minutes with you and help you, because listen, my group in EXP, okay, and when I say my group, that's Tony and Angel, and that's 400 of us. Our numbers are 67% of people are productive. You may go, wow, that's all? The industry's 20%. The industry's 20%. That's 3 times better than the industry. George and I got to get with him and talk about evaluating the numbers of the entire GPS group. I mean, I'm really proud of that number, but I'm not in a way, because I want to see 80%.
Little careful because
hey, Deborah.
At nighttime too, or
she was on. So anyway, in that 67%, I contribute to Paul's Saperstein's attitude, my attitude, and some of the things we've done there. And Paul was kind of introduced to the business by me, and he grew up with my philosophy in his earlier career, and I think that giant got awakened, and so you put it out there and it comes back, man.
I just wanted to add one thing in terms of exercise. So I'm probably approximately the same weight for probably about 35 years. I go to the gym 6 days a week. I do 3 cardio and 3 weight training, but there's been periods over the year where I stopped for months or 6 months. And 2 years ago, I created a new rule for myself that I'm not going to miss a day of workout. So this week, as an example, there was one day I absolutely did not want to go to the gym. I said, you know what, I'm skipping today. And I said, what's my rule? My rule is go to the gym, and all you have to do is 1 machine. That's it. 1 machine. Don't do all 12. Don't do anything. Your agreement is you just do 1 machine. And what I wound up doing is I wound up doing my entire circuit because I was already there. You know what? I might as well do 2 machines. You know what? I might as well do 3 machines. Until I got done and I said, thank God I have this rule, because if I didn't have this rule, I would have never shown up.
Yeah. Ken, I've told people that in the past, you only have to do 1 push-up a day to be very, very fit. You only have to do 1 push-up a day to be very, very fit. You know why? Because if you get down there and do 1, you're going to do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and the next day, I've got a challenge going right now with my with pull-ups, I've got to go and that kind of thing because I met a Jamaican fellow who's 70 years old and he does like 50 of them. And I look at him on YouTube and I study exercise, So, yeah, you're right. I'm glad you brought up. See, life by the inch is a cinch. That's what you just described. By the yard is hard. So, yeah. And folks, with your body, like that's why I love the Zach Bush, that 4-minute. By the way, that 4-minute workout is so critical because it's scientific. To just watch that. But while you're doing something in the kitchen, I don't care what your current physical situation is. Do a few squats. Lean against the counter and do a couple push-ups that way. As many as you can. If you do that over a long period of time, George's favorite saying is time over task over time, right? Watch what happens to your body and by doing little things. It's like collections, right? One little thing, it's savings account, same thing. It's just, so I'm glad you brought that up, Ken. Yeah. I'm not Ken's a gym guy. I can't go to the gym. By the time I get my car, by the time I do this, I'm just a outside person. I'm the kind of person get up, get out, and I have a different schedule. Probably it's just about every day, but except for my morning routine. Like last night, I said I'm leaving at the office because I was put a lot in, and I said I'll come back. 5 o'clock, I just shut everything down. I went walking, right, and I knocked out another 8,000 steps. And it wasn't looking at my watch, the steps. It was just I was out enjoying the birds. I was out enjoying the clouds, and I posted something. If you look at my Facebook, I said, what do you see in this cloud? It was pretty cool. It looked like a horse. And it was, you talk about healing. It's just, so do the little things, one step at a time, Keep it simple.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Ryan, what's up, man? Good to see you. Speak up. Come on. How many of you know Ryan? Ryan's from Las Vegas, came to us to South Florida. His wife is a hypnotherapist I did work with, right? I mean, what a godsend, little things like that. Now listen, I've been through all these years, 45 years of personal development training, right? And when I met Ro, I'm always intrigued by people that are in that field. And, I said, man, I can't add anything more inexpensive and all, but then the universe kind of came up with a way. I didn't know Ryan was having a problem finding a house. He went through 5 houses, lost all 5 of them. He came in one day with his long face. I said, Ryan, what's going on, man? He said, man, I can't get a house. I said, what are you talking about? I didn't know anything about it because he's not in the office a lot. And I said, let me help you. He got the 6th one, didn't you? Got the 6th one. And you know what they did? His wife says, I'm going to give you some free sessions. So I took them. And I've been with her and now it's amazing folks, I'm exposed to the best of the best, but just from her little bit different approach to things, oh my gosh, it was incredible. So anyone's looking for a hypnotherapist, I would encourage you to get a hold of Ryan. You're on ryan.solde at exprealty.com. But it's a little twist. Matter of fact, she and I were supposed to meet today, but unfortunately, I have a real big opportunity coming up that someone changed the schedule. I had to fit that, but my only point in bringing that up again, when you give, you get, right? Now I helped Ryan to help him get a house. I wasn't planning on anything, but they took me out to a nice dinner. And then I started chatting with his wife about her work. And I said, hey, gee, I would love to. I'm going to give you some free sessions, right? Because of the way I've helped them. And it's been powerful, really powerful. And matter of fact, she looked at some of my social media. She said, Fred, that stinks. She's Israeli, man. She's tough. She works with a lot of successful men. And she said, that stinks. And I said, you're right. She said, you should see my social media. Just sends that one little, not encouragement, rebuke, folks. So anyway, so Ryan, speak up, say hello.
Hey there, how you guys doing? Fred, I just really wanted to say thank you for everything. You've been helping me, coaching me. It doesn't go unnoticed, and we would not have a house if it wasn't for you, honestly. You held my hand, and you made sure that we were so close to backing out, but you said, no, do not get out of that jungle. If you go back in that jungle, you're gonna lose the house. You just let's work
You'll
it
be
from
homeless.
every
I said
angle.
you'll be homeless.
You said you're gonna be homeless. Really?
He
You
got
said,
nervous at the very end. Yeah.
and I really want to say thank you and appreciate, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And since you have, really, been coaching me, I have been just the little social media that you put on. It's starting to work. I'm starting to get some responses from my spear, and it's amazing what you can do. And I've been working on the My Life every Sunday, and it's working. And
Fantastic.
I just really wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. And then listen, tell them what sealed the deal for your house. Folks, listen to this. Okay. What did I tell you, right? What's personal development? Is 4-letter word, love. Tell them what the agent called you back and said, you know what sealed your deal? What was it?
I mean, what sealed the deal really was, Fred said, all right, when is the last showing? So he said the last showing is on a Thursday. He goes,
Well, not the
"You're gonna
practical.
go."
Not the practical. We did a great job on the contract, but right before you were ready to walk out the door, I said, whoa, wait a minute. We put it in a sealed envelope because
You put it in a sealed envelope, and you wrote sealed with love, and you wrote a smiley face on the envelope. And that's the agent called me that week, and she said, you know what really got it for you is you hand delivered it and wrote sealed with love with the smiley face. And that's what got it for me.
And the woman selling the house was a woman that was going into an assisted living, right?
Correct.
Or independent living. She was not. And so as he was leaving, I said, hold a second before you take that offer, because the offer was perfect. I wasn't worried about it. I knew we were going to get it because the way we had set it up. And I made it where she didn't even know what it is until she got there in front of the seller. But as he was leaving, remember, I said, oh, give me the envelope. What are we missing, Ryan? Come on now, think marketing. So I just thought, I said, I'm going to put seal with love and put a big smiley face. And the agent called back and said, you know what got that for you? And it looks like Ryan's getting an agent as a result of that. She hasn't come yet. She set an appointment with me because she said, I want to hear what you're doing there. But the broker gave her mortgage commission split and gave her the guilt trip and all that stuff. But he's going to get an agent out of that too. That was funny, that little smiley face seal with love. All right, guys. Go ahead, Ryan. Yeah, it worked, right?
Yes.
All right, cool.
I really want to say thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. See how that goes, folks? It's just there's a proverb, right? Ken, you're probably familiar with the proverb out of Proverbs, the Torah. It says, cast your breads upon the water and they shall come back to you. Right. So I cast my breads upon the water by helping him. It came back to me with his wife doing some coaching with me that we've had 4 or 5 sessions. And then all of a sudden she threw out social media one day. And that just was, you should see the difference from what we did. And so anyway, it's a fun way to live, folks. Fun way to live. All right. Anybody else? Everyone say hi to Lori Newman. Hey, Lori, good to see you. Lori's brand new with us, just came aboard from Keller.
Hey, Lori.
This was awesome. Hello, everybody. Glad you enjoyed. Yeah, it was really good.
And look at Gabby from Boston, Massachusetts. Jessica Gould. I always say Gould. It's an age story. Jessica Baskis. Jessica, if she's on, she's going to kill me. I do it to her all the time. Because that was a wonderful. She's there. Anyway, so hi, Gabby. Gabby's up in Boston. Her dad owns a very, very, how old is that real estate company your dad owns?
He's been doing it. The company that he has is only 10 years old, but he's been doing it for 30 years.
30 years, yeah. Really nice guy. We met, and Gabby's just getting started with us from Jessica Baskey's podcast.
Yes, and if any of you want to see what it's like up here, it's all snow.
Oh my!
Just in case any God! To miss it, just in case you miss it. About 2 feet, 2 feet of snow.
Oh my gosh! Guys, by the way, and I'm sorry, I'm going to do this. I can't help it. I got to brag on Jessica Baskey's. She is just. Jessica, put your camera on. Look at her. She got her little.
No, I can't. I just worked out.
So that's good. Everyone, how many of you want to see Jessica Baskey's just worked out? Come on.
Nope, not happening.
Not happening. Anyway, but she has just done a phenomenal job with, 3 years in the business. No, you're Yeah,
3 years. 2 years with EXP.
Yeah, 2 years of XP. And what did you finish last year? How much volume?
Just under 10 million.
And then how many agents and how many states?
8 states. Where our group covers 8 states now, and I think I ended with 16, and then in January I brought on 4 more, so I just hit 20.